Now, sometimes people are a little bit confused about the difference between Ubuntu server and Ubuntu desktop and how the network is going to be managed. In Ubuntu desktop, it will be managed using Network Manager. But in Ubuntu server, by default, the interfaces file is going to basically manage your network. Or rather, it's not managed, it's specified by the interfaces file, which is located in etc. network. And then the file is called interfaces. So if we want to open that up, we can concatenate that file. And you can see here that I have a static IP address specified for the network. Now, this is very common. This is how most Ubuntu servers are going to be set. They're not going to use DHCP because then you're only accessing it via host name, which can certainly be done. But there's a little more security, I find, in having your IP address static and not just managed by your router. Maybe it's an IT control issue, I don't know, but most Ubuntu servers are going to have a static IP address and not DHCP. So let's go ahead and open up this file using nano now, sudo nano etc. network interfaces, and we can begin to make some changes here. Now, if we were using DHCP, we could erase all of this. And this is what our interfaces file would look like. Using DHCP, the router is going to give us an IP address at its discretion, and it will, of course, renew that automatically after a set time, and that's specified by the router. Now, we can set it to static, however, and then drop down to a new line. Most people like to tab over here. Address, and then you're specifying the IP address. Now, on my network, that's going to be 10.0.0. Whatever. In this case, I'm choosing 16. A much more common format is going to be 192.168.1. Whatever your number is there that you'd like to assign to the machine. And of course, 192.168.0 dot number. You know, you can have any possible configuration. Those are just the most common. In my case, it is 10.0.0.16. I can specify whatever I want there. Let's specify 17. I do not believe that's taken on my local network. We'll see if we get a conflict there. And then after your address, you need to specify the net mask 255.255.255.0 and then the gateway, which again in my case is 10.0.0.1. Again, a more common gateway would be 192.168.1.1. That would be a more common gateway, or it could of course be .0.1 as well. Now let's see if our settings are successful. Using Control O in Nano, we can write this file out. We can close it down using Control X. And now we can issue sudo ifdown, interface down, and then specify the interface, which in this case is eth0. So this is going to be taking that entire adapter, that entire interface down. And we can see that by then typing ifconfig. Only the loopback interface is shown here. Now to bring it back up, we'll use sudo ifup, interface up, and then we specify which interface we would like to bring up. In this case, eth0. Now you can see by typing ifconfig that eth0 is back. That is essentially resetting the network adapter. You're bringing the interface down and you're bringing it back up. Where in a previous module, I showed you how to release your IP address through DHCP and renew it. In this case, you're now bringing it down and bringing that entire interface back up. You can see now that we have our iNet address set at 10.0.0.17, and let's make sure we do in fact have internet access by pinging Google. So ping and then google.com or whatever you'd like to ping, and you can see here that we have internet access. I will use Control C to stop that ping, and you can see 9 packets transmitted, 9 received, 0% packet loss. So we're good. We have an internet connection, and it's specified in the interfaces file as being static. Now, in the following module, I'm going to talk with you about wireless. Again, wireless is not very common on Ubuntu servers because it's wireless. It's not wired. There's less security there. There's less consistency there. And so you're not going to see a lot of Ubuntu servers running on wireless. Nevertheless, I want you to be familiar with wireless, how to configure it in the interfaces file, and how to troubleshoot it as we've done for our wired connection.